Media at SAFM with Ashraf Garda. Exploring every media platform and industry. Only on 104 to 107.
Right, let's talk Facebook. In fact, Bra Willy Seyama with me. So Bra Willy Seyama is always with me from Initiate. Good chatting to you. Hi.
Hi, Ashraf. It's great to be on your show again.
Thank you. Right, let's talk about, well, you have some thoughts on Facebook, right? A review of Facebook. Tell me about that.
Absolutely. You know, when you go back to 2012 when Facebook listed on the NASDAQ,
right,
all sorts of predictions were made since then. In fact, I came across 4 of them. 2 in 2012, 1 in 2014, and 1 in 2015. And here's what they were saying in essence, that Facebook is facing demise by 2020. Who
said that?
All sorts of analysts.
Where are they? Are they still analysts? I mean, that's the point.
In fact, you will remember that when they first listed, actually their share price took a bit of a dip, and there was nervousness, and there was an investigation going on, and all those sort of things, because they listed at $38 at that stage. Suffice to say, in 5 years down the line, as at today, their share price is sitting at $150.
But we all know that, and I think they're making massive gains, right? So
they certainly are.
Let's talk about that roadmap that you've touched on that Facebook has used.
Absolutely. Let me just go back one step, Ashraf, and indicate why Initiate as a digital marketing company is interested in the performance of Facebook.
Okay.
2 things really. The first one is that Facebook plans to connect 4 billion people who apparently are currently do not have access to the internet. 4 billion of them. Okay, and we know that a good portion of those people are actually on the continent. When you consider that our internet penetration at this stage is only 27%. What it says is basically 1 in every 4 people is on the internet. The other 3 are not. That's 1.2 billion people, because there's 1.6 billion on the continent. So when you consider that there are 4 billion people who are estimated to not have access, a good 1/3 of them are on the continent. So that's the first reason why it is of importance to us, tracking what Facebook is doing and saying. The second one is that our existence actually depends on the success of Facebook, because it is the largest social network site at this stage.
So our means who?
As in Initiate as a company.
Okay. Our
existence is dependent on Facebook being the largest social network site. So it is of interest to us to be checking what is happening with them. So and I wanted to just mention those 2 things to kind of set the context, because I'm not here as a Facebook spokesperson.
Yes, of course. Well, we'll get Facebook in as well soon. Yeah.
Now, about the 10-year roadmap, Facebook have identified 3 things that they want to focus on to really just make sure that they guarantee their future success. The first one is connectivity. I've spoken about that already. They want to connect 4 billion people. The second one, they want to focus on artificial intelligence, because they reckon that is where the future is going. The third one that they are going to be focusing on is augmented reality. So on the basis of those 3 focus areas, Facebook is developing all sorts of technologies to make sure that they pioneer this space, if that's what they have to be doing, because if they sit and wait for somebody else to do that, somebody's going to eat their lunch. So that, in essence, that is their 10-year roadmap. And
just tell us more about those terms, augmented reality and the others, so that listeners understand it.
Absolutely. Now, let me use examples to make the point. Dulux has got an app out. If you want to buy paint and you don't know how it's going to be looking on your wall, you literally use their app to take a picture of your wall, real time, and start applying the different colors of paint. Okay, what that means is you can use a real environment and overlay digital technology for an augmented reality. So that's the simplest example of what augmented reality is. compare that with virtual reality, because that's also spoken about quite a bit.
Right.
The simplest example for me that I'm sure everybody will relate to is the FIFA games, FIFA computer games.
Right, yeah.
They use virtual reality, because in that case you're using an artificial reality based on digital technology to be able to play such games. Most of the games that are out there are based on virtual reality technology,
and they're becoming massive. I see SuperSport's got a new channel now, just about sport gaming. It starts Monday. Well, tomorrow, in fact, I think it is. So there you are, right? Okay,
absolutely, it's a big thing.
So how is Facebook aligned? What are they doing about it? Once they've identified this, how are we seeing that what they do to create these shifts so that they are completely engaged across the spectrum?
Now, Facebook unveiled their 360, what they call the Facebook 360 surround camera, because we know that 360 views have become a big thing, both in terms of pictures and videos. They've unveiled.
In fact, I'll take a picture of yours while we're talking. Carry on talking.
Absolutely.
This is the way the world works nowadays. Yeah, carry on.
They've unveiled 3 types of cameras. Now, this begs the question, by the way, whether Facebook is still a software company, or are they morphing into something else, like an Apple type business model. They claim that they are not a hardware development company, but the technologies that they unveiled at the recent F8 developer conference are begging the question whether they're moving into a different space, or they are basically morphing their business model, because they realize that if they rely on the hardware development companies, they're going to be left behind. So they're developing some of these technologies.
Okay, so here's the thought. Why does all that you say, ignore initiate, leave you aside. Why should it matter to people listening, as listeners, people involved in the marketing and digital industry, people not involved, people just listening today because they're just chilling out? Why should it matter to them? And people using Facebook?
Absolutely. You will remember that social media space has basically been consumer-led. So the first thing that consumers should be on the lookout for are the technologies that are coming downstream. The 360 camera being one, because up until now, the 360 technology was so difficult, because you had to take different angles of a space and then stitch the images together to make a 360. You won't have to be doing that going forward. So from a consumer perspective, it is of importance to them to know what's going to happen down the line, like it was the case in 2008 when Apple first brought out the iPhone. Okay, from a marketer perspective, it's really knowing where the communication space is going, because it's really saying that a lot of the communication is currently text-based, but going down the line, it's going to be more visual based. That is already happening, but it's going to it's going to even accelerate.
And Facebook's certainly giving prominence
Absolutely.
now to through Facebook, as well as through their picture social media platform, right? I'm talking about Instagram, giving prominence to video, right? Okay. Any final things you want to tell me?
A few things quickly, Ashraf. Certainly, when you look at what Facebook is doing now, it is ensuring itself their future. So the naysayers out there about Facebook demise and the predictions that go with it, I think they're gonna have to be waiting a while before that happens, if it happens at all. And one understands that the history that has got to do with the .com bubble and all those sorts of things have kind of made people very cynical of the future of digital technology. But certainly Facebook is pioneering that space. The other thing is to watch what is happening within Facebook as a group. Because it's not only Facebook that has been growing; it has literally doubled its user base since 2012. Instagram and WhatsApp have also been growing their users.
And that's all part of Facebook, by the way. Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
And the last thing is that for companies, instant messaging is going to be the future insofar as engagement with consumers go.
Okay, so don't SMS me any longer. Instant messages are, and that's it's happening already to a degree, but maybe even sooner. You never know. No, don't just take my word for it right now. We'll tell you when that happens sometime in the future. Thanks for your time, as for always, and you're going to tweet me whatever you said, all right?
Certainly will.
With relevant links as well. There you are, Brown Willy Seyama, the founder of Initiate. And as he says, his business is dependent on what happens to Facebook. Well put, I think. And maybe many others would say the same.
Media at SAFM with Ashraf Garda. Exploring every media platform and industry. Only on 104 to 107.